good evening, good morning, YouTube. It's me, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Badminton Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, it's Friday. Yeah, I know you guys. You're happy. You know, you got paid. Now you got to pay the bill, man. So you be broke then. So I know how it feels, folks. And, bills. Water's supposed to be free, but it's not how it works. So, folks, I got a busy weekend, folks. This is my second interview for the start of the weekend, and I have a few more coming up. I mean, hey guys, these ladies want to share their stories. They want to talk to me. They like my style, or sometimes the other guy like to say they just like my particular character. So we have here's a lovely young lady. She just made her IFBB figure debut last week at the Triple O Dynasty, one of, I would say, a great show. This year was women's bodybuilding and physique.
Mm-hmm.
Triple O is promoted by the former eight-time Miss Olympia figure champ. That's the lovely Miss Cindy Gillen, and also the three-time Miss Olympia champ fitness. That's Whitney Jones, and also my favorite person in the world, my girlfriend Andrea Shaw. Oh, I love her. Guys, you know how I am about her. She's just an amazing person. So we welcome the lovely Miss Kyndle Rich. And ma'am, we thank you for your time.
Yes, no problem. No problem. My pleasure.
Well, the pleasure's all ours. So, ma'am, how did you start in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
So funny enough, when I moved to Dallas, I was, going to the gym, staying in my regiment, and I had a lot of people keep telling me like, "Hey, your shoulders, you should do bodybuilding." And a lot of times when women hear bodybuilding, they automatically think old school women bodybuilders where they were big, and I was like, I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know. And the more I started researching and looking, I just started to fall in love with it. And after I did my first show, I was like a drug. I was hooked after that. I was hooked.
Yeah, I know. It's bodybuilding can be very addictive sport. You
Yes.
see, you were like Pookie in New Jack City. You're like, it was calling my name, man. It was calling my name. It was calling me, man. It was calling me. Yeah, because it can't be addictive because the training, the dieting. Some people, like the everyday person, couldn't do what y'all do. Get up in the morning, train, work out, stick to a
Mhm.
regimen. It's so hard because too much temptations out there. So, what organizations were you in before you started in NPC and IFBB?
So I actually started in NPC. Funny enough, my very first show I did wellness, and it was actually when wellness had maybe about 2-3 years after it had just came out, so they were still trying to figure out what they wanted. But my first show I did wellness. And I did NPC for a while. I took a little bit of a break, and I did go to GBO. And I did a couple of GBO shows, and something was just telling me like, okay, you got unfinished business there. You need to go back. You have unfinished business. And when I went back and did December, won the show, turned around, came back for nationals, won that, and it was just off the races from there. So,
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, like every bird has a start. Wellness is becoming a very popular division in the
mhm.
IFBB in the last couple of years. I know some ladies who have, transitioned from either physique or figure to division, bikini. A friend of mine, her name is Jada. She was doing women's bodybuilding and physique for like a couple of years. Now she's doing wellness. I know another lady who did it, but she went back. And I think it's a division that works with those strong Afro aesthetics. Often they say that's why the Brazilians do so well because they do have
Mhm.
those traits. The bigger hips, the thicker thighs.
Right.
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it does. Don't get me wrong. I thought I had so much fun in wellness. I loved it. I thought it was great. But when I first really started looking into bodybuilding, I wanted to do figure because it was something about the muscle, but the femininity of it that I was just like, I love it. That's me. Like, I got the shoulders. Like, why not? That's my chance to, show off and showcase what I have and what I could build. So after I did that wellness show, I was like, nope, I want to go up. That, wellness was fun. I loved it, but figure is to me where my heart is. Like the muscle, the feminine about it, the sexuality that comes with it that you can bring to the stage. It shows that you can have muscle and still be feminine at the same time. And I just love it.
Yeah, it's like I said, its division's been well for quite some time. I think it's one of the
Mhm.
third oldest division for women in bodybuilding because it kind of
Mhm.
spun off of fitness because fitness was created
Right.
because a lot of female bodybuilders didn't want to be as big, and they wanted a division that worked for them. And then I think it works because you have to do all the jump around and chicken sweat like you do if you were doing, you know, uh, doing fitness. But we do have this video, folks. As one of my things is as my master Raza Gula Demon has taught me. Always be aware of surroundings at all time. So I did find this little video of her. And guys, you got to check it out. And she looks very impressive. This is from her GBO days here, folks. And
Yes.
and this you were at the time you were the GBO Pro Champion. What was that feeling like for you?
You know what? That was an awesome feeling. That was funny enough. That was a show that I had jumped into right after doing another show, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just see. I'm still in shape. I still feel good. Let's see what happens. And I wound up doing the morning show, and I won the morning show. Became a pro for GBO, and they gave me the opportunity to compete later on that night, and I winded up becoming Miss Atlas.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
well,
it was an amazing feeling.
yeah, you look very impressive. I mean, you
Thank you.
have those like they want those good aesthetics in figure. You want those round cap shoulders. You want those
Mhm.
good quads. You don't want to be too big. You kind of like figures kind of in between physique and bikini in a way.
Yeah, in a way, yes. In a way, yeah. Because you do still have, like you said, you still have to have the cap, you still have to have the quads, you still have to have the good size in your legs. You have to bring so much of the symmetry that you have to pay attention to what body parts you're targeting and how your workout schedule is. Because if you're not paying attention, you can outgrow your upper body from your lower body, and now that throws you off. So you could have been very symmetrical if you'd have maybe taken one day off from doing upper body, taken one day off and not did shoulders as much and maybe focused on quads. So you have to be very strategic in figure to make sure that you're still having that same symmetry. You're still staying within that criteria that they're looking for.
Yeah, I think that really, like I said, I've been doing some content for figure a bit because most of me when I started on content, especially when I started my channel, was mostly I was a fan of women's bodybuilding for a long time. I followed the
Mhm.
sport for many years, and now I really want to expand more. I just the other day interviewed a young lady that she was also at the Triple O. She was helping her boyfriend that was you know uh, Jamie Gwynn. She's going to
Mhm.
make her NPC debut in a few weeks. And, you ladies have really evolved over time. If you look at division now, it's totally different. I think if you look at it, it looks more like women's bodybuilding maybe in the 80s and maybe early 90s. And even those women now are bigger than those women back then.
Right. Right. Yeah, they are. And I did women's physique. I did a show where I did both figure and women's physique. And I was one of the smaller of the women's physique girls, but there's so many good attributes whether you're doing figure, physique or bodybuilding. There's so many different things about it. You just have to pick what's going to be best for your personality. I love figure, but I love women's physique. I love the routine. I love the dancing. I love being able to dominate the entire stage the way that I wanted to. But I'm also a girl that likes to wear heels. So figure was where my home is because I like to wear heels. So
I have interviewed ladies who start out in figure and or bikini and they have problem with the heels. They sometimes after a while they're like, they want to get these clodhoppers off. They get
Yeah.
tired because it can be one. I mean, one lady told me how sometimes she should take a hair blower and try to, get the band open a little wider. She get her feet in it because sometimes
Hmm.
in those heels. But I had one lady told me that she loved her heels. She'll be on a treadmill, doing her cardio in her heels. You have to really, in general, have to really love the sport of bodybuilding. Well,
Yes.
yeah. So, what was that feeling like? When you first started as a competitor for yourself?
Nerve wracking. I'm just going to be 100% honest. It was very nerve wracking because it's one thing that I don't really think that people understand about this sport is for women, you're going on stage in a bikini, more or less like a Brazilian style bikini, and you're being judged on your body. You are literally being picked apart from head to toe. So it's very nerve wracking when you're getting on stage because you're basically telling this person, hey, here I am, judge me, pick my flaws out, pick me apart. So you have to kind of build that tough skin and realize if you put in the work beforehand and you bring your best package, you have to be proud of your package. And that's one thing that I had to come to the fact of because the first show I was so nervous. I was excited, but I was very, very nervous. And I would get a little bit intimidated at first because I'm looking at some of the other girls and I'm like, my legs don't look like hers. My back don't look like hers. My this don't look like that. But once I started going into like my second and third show, I just started to realize this is my best package. I have to be proud of my package. My body doesn't look like hers, and that's the point. We're all not supposed to look the same. That's the point of us doing the competition. We're seeing where we fit in each criteria. So once I kind of got over that, now I look at every show like it's an opportunity. Win, lose, if you do not learn from your losses, your wins are just luck. At
Yeah.
least that's how I look at it.
Well, like I said, a lot of people say you learn from your failures more than your successes because your failures, you can see the mistakes you made before and then change it. And then you
Yes.
can have more success. It's all nobody's ever be perfect. One thing is that I've talked to ladies like you're not competing against other people, you're more or less competing against yourself. It's you versus you.
Yes.
But you are
Yes.
against other people who are has great physiques. You may have a girl say, wow, her legs are just crazy, her shoulders just wide, her back is crazy, she's just very attractive. But like I said, the judges look for certain criteria.
Hmm.
Like at the show, Erica Morgan, she won, amazing young lady. Also Winnie Fatina was there, who was a champion last year, and I
Yes.
think her aesthetics, I think, is probably changing and evolving because the way the sport is evolving on its own. We have here
Yes.
a guest here, my man. XA Gucci 23, he's coming through. It says, salute, Brother George and Queen Rich. Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you for coming through. And I appreciate that. So you competed a couple of shows before the year was out. You did the battle up in Texas, which you did that plenty of times. I've seen from your social media,
Hmm.
and then you did nationals where you won the overall title. I mean, because you all you gotta do is win your class, you get a pro card. But the overall thing, that was what was that feeling like when come on.
You know what's funny because a lot of people were sending me the videos. And I don't know if you can really tell, but if you notice, I kind of do like this because I'm hearing them call people's name and I'm hearing them call second place, but I didn't hear my name. And when they called me for to win my category and for overall, I was shocked. I It was an amazing feeling, but I kind of froze and I was like, did me like there's nobody else next to me. It's just me left. That's me. It was an amazing feeling. Like it was indescribable. Like you can see my girl back there.
You see,
That's
yeah.
my girl Tasha.
Hey Tasha.
Yeah, that's Tasha. But it was an amazing feeling. It came at a point where I felt like I couldn't go. I just kept going up. Like I just felt like okay, I'm coming, I'm calm, I'm centered, I'm focused, I'm coming for everything that I can. And I did. And I'm so proud of myself, but I mean, the feeling was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And there were some tough ladies. It was some tough ladies that I went against in both shows. So, I mean, it was a tremendous accomplishment for me.
Yeah, it can be tough competition. You have ladies who have been competing and training for the whole year, maybe years, and they were opportunities to get to this next level. As you know, with the nationals, all you got to win is, and you even if you take second in your class, you still get a pro card. And your
Right,
overall is just for the big title. You know, even if you
right.
pass the ladies who've done that show. What we're gonna do, folks, is she did do a little interview after the show, so I'm not a first interview. You know, with a legend in the sport of bodybuilding, the lovely Miss Sheila Brown. And folks who want to check out, it just really tells you about who she is, and and how she really came in here and did pretty well for herself, especially in a big show like the Nationals.
Hi, this is Sheila with NBC News Online. I'm here at the NBC Nationals here in Dallas, Texas, with our figure overall winner, Kyndle Corbin.
Yep.
Congratulations. Welcome to the league.
Thank
You just won the Battle of Texas.
you. Yes,
So I want to say the Battle of Texas gives you good luck.
it does.
Yes.
It does. It gives you life. It's,
And I know you used to cross over. You tried women's physique and
Yes.
figure,
Yep.
right?
Yep, I did. And I did, I think Battle of Texas when I did women's
Yes, you
physique. And I mean, I loved it, but figure is home.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
where I'm supposed to be.
Yes. And you know what? When I saw you last week, you said you like figure.
Yep.
Yes, we talked about that, but you like the way the iron feels in your hand, like you
Yes.
like that, but you don't want to
Yes.
get too big. So I think this is your home. Figure is your home.
Yes, I've found comfort. I'm so much more comfortable in my skin right now, and just being able to put on the muscle and kind of show my own little attitude and spunk on stage in this way, it's amazing.
Very good.
Yeah, it's
We're
amazing.
so pleased to have you as a Battle of Texas winner and now an NBC National overall winner. Something about first place and then overall, it's like it upgrades it, right?
Yeah, it's not the icing to the cake. It's the ice cream with the whipped cream on top. On top of the cake.
Yes, yes. I
With a
see.
slice of pie.
Oh, with that.
With a
Okay.
slice of pie. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see you do your pro debut. I hope you do it at the Texas Pro. But
Yeah.
talk to your coach, and I know you have a very supportive husband. I know
Yes.
he's very proud. He's very happy for you.
Yes, he's
Somewhere.
somewhere back
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We're pleased to have you. Welcome to the league, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
This is Sheila with NBC News Online. We are signing off.
Well, ma'am, you did pretty good for yourself. I mean,
I did.
you should be proud. Again, like I said, again, it's a tough lineup, especially trying to get your pro cards. A lot of ladies want the opportunity. And you have someone like Sheila Brown, who's a legend. She's been in the sport for quite a long time, has done both women's bodybuilding and physique, and now she's promoted. She's working with Battle Up, and they're promoting the upcoming Texas Pro. So, what was that feeling like when, for you, when that overall feeling when you put in all this time into work in and seeing that you earned it and got your pro card?
Kind of unbelievable. And it's funny because when I first started, my husband would always ask me, do you want to be a pro? Do you want to turn pro? And I was just like, I just want to have fun. We'll see what happens. We'll see. And funny enough, that was actually my second national show that I did. My first one was in Florida. And I got third place, which was not bad. First time at nationals getting first place, third place, that's not bad. And I think after that experience, something just switched. And I was like, no, I was right there. It's going to be mine. It's going to be mine. And I had to lock in, and I had to remember to tell myself everything happens for a reason when it's supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to turn, pro when I did in Florida. You know, I wasn't supposed to when I did Florida. It was supposed to happen sometime down the line. And I think it's because I had to make sure in my heart that that's really what I wanted. And this is the journey that I wanted to continue on. And it took for me going to Florida for it to say, nope, this is where you're going. This is what you love. This is what is showing you that you can have a good career in. You just have to work for it and you have to push hard for it. So, I mean, it was an unbelievable feeling to finally get it, to finally have that card in hand and go, nope, this is mine. I earned this. I worked hard for this. It's mine.
This is mine, and no one's gonna take it away from me.
Yes.
I say, it's mine, and and also you support your husband. What's his name? How long y'all been together?
My husband's name is Sean. He and I have been together for going on 9 years. Yeah, going on 9 years. We've been married for going on 8 years. He has been my biggest supporter, my cheerleader. He's done, some bodybuilding and powerlifting. So this is his world. He loves it. So to say that he has been my partner is an understatement. Like, he's done my dieting, he's done my training, he's done my peaking, he's the person behind stage that's speaking life into me. The times where I'm like 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I ain't gonna do it. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And he
She said hungry. Yeah. She said hungry. That's I'm hungry. He said hungry. Yeah.
I'm hungry. I'm hangry. I mean, but he's the person that leaves notes on the treadmill to give me support, to say, you got this. This is yours. Take what's yours. You've earned this. He is, and will always be my backbone, my support, my everything in life, because I honestly, I wouldn't be here without him. So
he's like your Adrian to your Rocky. Adrian.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good to have that, because I know with some ladies, they've told stories here where sometimes when you get into bodybuilding, especially change your lives, relationships have changed, especially with husbands and wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, because you're changing yourself as a person overall. Your lifestyle changes. You're doing things differently. Men, we don't like change too often, but if you have a good man that's willing to adapt with you and hang, is Sean here or is he at work?
No, he's working right now.
Sean.
Unfortunately, he's working right now.
That's good. That's good. People need somebody to stand by them. Like I said, one person I think I always say I go back to is my mother, because I started this because I was taking care of her. That was my woman, and when she was gone, I said, you know what? I have only thing she did was what stuff she taught me how to be an adult. It's one thing. A woman cannot teach a man to be a man, but she can teach him how to be an adult, and she has taught me. And I appreciate that. And it's good that you have someone like that in corner. Because like I said, bodybuilding is a tough sport, especially for y'all ladies. Because this is one thing about an everyday person, you tell them about bodybuilding, they think about two people, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, Terminator, and the Hulk. They don't see the process of the sport. As I'm doing this content, what I learned from you ladies and my process as a interviewer and also a content maker. Everybody looks at bodybuilding like this. It's steroids and no, it's not just that. It's only a small fraction. If you are somebody who are an enhanced competitor, you have to stick to the work, be consistent, be disciplined, follow a diet. What you were talking with Sheila about the cake and ice cream. What I often ask you ladies, especially after a big show, like either like the Nationals or you just did the Triple O, share it, me, lovely Miss Kyndle. What was that thing you want? What was that thing, as my other guy says, it make you stranger, but makes you stronger?
You know what? Funny enough, I didn't really have, after the Triple O, I really didn't have any cravings. funny enough, the last two shows I haven't. And I think because of the fact that the last couple of shows leading up into the shows, I was eating hamburgers. I was going to Wendy's because I extended out my prep a little bit longer because we had some other things that we wanted to do that I wanted to be in shape for. So I was already so far ahead, and at a certain point my body will tend to kick into high gear. So I was eating, double cheeseburgers, I was eating french fries. So by the time the show comes, I'm like, all right, you guys can pick, I'll just sample off of everybody's plate. Like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Uh, maybe ice cream. Maybe ice cream is the thing that I kind of crave afterwards. But for the most part, I don't really have too many cravings. And I honestly, I really try not to, because of the fact that when you have those cravings after the show, you can send your body into some weird places. You can shock your body so much. You can shock your body so much that it sets you back and you can make yourself sick.
Oh,
So you try not to do that to yourself because you don't want to set anything back.
yeah.
So
I
I
understand.
try to be really careful.
Yeah, I understand that. I remember I interviewed a young lady. She, after her last show, she kind of was in a hankering for something, and she woke up the next morning. She puked because she dreamed about ice cream and stuff. And, because your body sometimes, if you especially on a diet or you're certain things you don't eat, and then you get a chance to eat them, it can set you back because it's like
Yes.
being an addict and not taking a drug for a long time and then you take it just winks you out. So
Yeah.
Eric, folks, while we have Kyndle here, what we do is we're going to jump into her social media for a bit and her IG. If you want to follow her, her link is in the description of this live stream. You want to check her out, support her, and ladies, can you support? But guys, and I tell this verbatim, as a rule, guys, no weird shit. Don't do it. She has her Sean might super kick you. I wouldn't want to hear about somebody getting hurt up over their husband because these ladies deserve a little more respect. So, folks, we'll jump in her social media for a bit. If you want to follow her, the link, as I said again, the links are in the description of this live. So, wait, folks, and here we go. And here we go here. And this is a picture from the Triple O. And what made
Yeah.
you want to make your debut here?
I'm a big fan of Sid. I love her physique. I am actually a really big fan of Andrea Shaw. Funny enough, when I won overall, they wound up comparing me to her. And for me, I was like, this is even better because now I can meet her. Like, now I can be in the same room with her. Now I can kind of see how I line up with her. So, I mean, and then plus my family is close by. So it was a good opportunity for them to be able to come and actually see me. So I just figured, why not?
Yeah, it's good because that's in Arizona. This is her training, and wow, you got a great back. Wow.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Who's your coach? Who you been working with?
My husband, actually. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
My
not that.
husband.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, has he has other clients? Or he just has you.
No, he just has me. I am spoiled beyond belief. He just has me.
You're his woman. He has to take care of his
Yeah.
woman. You know that. So at the Triple O, who was the head judge? I think was it Sandy that year or somebody else?
Yeah, Sandy did. She was head judge.
Okay, and knowing her, she usually gives like a critique. You ever get a chance to talk to her about what she needs to improve on, especially because you took 11 at the show, and that's pretty close to the top 10.
I did. First thing I did after the show was over was beeline straight to her. Um, because I wanted to get her feedback. And honestly, even before I did the show, I reached out to Sandy a couple of times because I wanted her feedback. Almost every show I did, I sent her something to get her feedback. And honestly, my conditioning, I can honestly say my conditioning, even for myself, looking at me, I don't feel like I brought my best conditioning. But trial and error, when you turn pro, they say you kind of have to start back from the bottom. So if me starting at 11th place is starting from the bottom, I'll take that. But I definitely want to bring in a little bit more of my conditioning, make sure that I'm a little bit more on target just to accentuate the muscle development that I've been able to grow and build.
Hmm. Now here she had a conversation on with the podcast with Nicole Zenobia, also Sharonka Hitton, Lowe, and also a lady who I've met and also had on my channel before, the lovely Miss Rashana Boswell. So you're gonna check out this little interview they did, and
the blood work that I get done. Like, I'm really open about that kind of stuff and posting that kind of things and being open with your doctor and talking about that kind of stuff, because I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough. So I feel like I'll try and bring that kind of stuff to light, that it's okay to have that kind of conversation with your doctor. I mean, they know you compete. I mean, be as safe as possible. I've posted me going in for getting my blood work and stuff done, and what you should be looking for. So I feel like just getting, I've posted about the blood work that I get
what's
done.
that experience like? You were like with three Olympic level competitors. You got Sharonica Physique, you got Nicole, who's figure. You also have Rashana, women's bodybuilding. Also Low, I think she ain't competed in a while. This is her. She also was at the Triple O. Looked very
Yeah.
impressive. So what's that?
Yeah. I was honored. I was very much honored, because like I had said in the interview, I used to, I still do. I watch Sharonica. I watch the way that she does posing, even though she does a different division. I still watch her. I watch her fluidity. I watch how she moves. Each one of those ladies has something that you can learn from, that you can build from. And just talking with them and being able to talk with a group of ladies who understand what you're going through and some of the trials and tribulations that you go through when it comes to family and friends and just overall being in the gym. So it was a great experience.
Well, like I said, it's great. Like I said, I met Rashana a couple of years ago. She's a great lady. I do follow Sharonica Hitton. Her girlfriend Chris Bully just recently followed me on IG. I appreciate that. I know they're engaged, recently engaged. Shout out to them. And Nicole Zenobia, she's a lovely lady. Amazing lady. All you ladies are beautiful. Like I said, one thing is, especially for me as a black man, I love black women, especially y'all black ladies with muscles. Y'all like I said, y'all get me excited. It's just something about y'all, just something different compared to others. But I do respect your passion and commitment to sport. So now, since doing your first pro debut, are there any more plans? You feel like you want to take some more time?
I do want to take a little bit more time, just to fine tune. After some of my feedback, there wasn't much feedback that I needed to kind of nitpick and go back to the drawing board on, but you can never go wrong with kind of going back and reassessing yourself and making it a little bit better, because every show at this point you're going against some heavy hitters, so you have to bring your best package. And for me, I want to top that show. I want to top how I looked for nationals. I want to top how I looked for Triple O. So I want to take a little bit more time. I usually do like doing my Texas shows. I'm not sure if I would be able to get away with not doing a Texas show. So you never know. You may see me in August.
Well, like I said, the Texas Pro in August. There's also is a show in San Antonio, and also there's the State of Texas show this recent. 3 shows in Texas, with figure. I was hoping this year that Texas Pro would have women's bodybuilding, but things are happening, it just but it can be like that. And you did the battle up, and a friend of mine, she was there. She was there promoting her brand as Eunice Kitchen. She does bad rap. She's a great lady. I'm gonna tell you this true story about Eunice. And Eunice, me and her have become good friends, kind of fast friends. I really respect what she's doing. She was at the 2023 Olympia. And I always want to show this out. And if you guys, I know you guys, you haters, guys, I love y'all haters. Y'all complete me. And she got me this issue of Muscular Development. And it's just a magazine with Andrea on the cover. But what makes it so special is this. It makes it so special is this one thing about it is that she signed it.
Oh, nice.
I love her even more. I mean, I remember I actually saw her do a guest posing at Savannah back in 2022, and it was a great opportunity to see her. And women like her and yourself and all the competitors really I admire y'all ladies, what y'all do. Also, as I said again, my other crown, my muscle pair smell, y'all ladies just excite me, especially when I was younger. But during this concert, I get to really know who you are. It's like I know Mila Ash was there at the what's the lady who I'm a fan of, a friend lady who become friend with Gabby was there. I mean, just an amazing group of women in bodybuilding over the last few years. Everybody from your division, you have people like Jessica Padillas, because you met her before.
Mhm.
She's possibly on the way to be the next Miss Olympia, or unless she's Lola Montez. You heard that. Not Whitney. Missy Prescott's coming in. What's your
Yes.
thoughts of this with Missy coming in from fitness to figure?
Um, you know what? I say if she wants to slap some heels on, come on over, let's do it. Um, it's gonna be different. It really is. It's gonna be different. Because when you're so used to not having the heels on, now having to put them on, it's gonna be a little bit different. But I believe if you really love the sport, then you're gonna come and bring the best that you can.
Well, you gotta remember, fitness do wear high heels too, but it's got the other part where they do a lot of jump around, move around. They do a lot of the
Right.
physical part of it, but it's not too much of a move for her because she has great aesthetics, she has a great look. I
Mhm.
mean, maybe also I know some ladies who have done with what that injury she had back a few years ago that might have maybe made the decision to step back from weight, but you never know, she might go back. So, what did you feel as a competitor bodybuilding needs, especially for the women to evolve, even to get attention?
Honestly, I love the fact of Triple O with their pro show, with it being a all female show. I love that. I would love to see more female shows, even if it's just in the NPC, because there are so many women in bikini. There's so many women in wellness. I would love to see more women shows. So that way we can basically showcase and say, hey, we're here, we're supporting. Um, and it's kind of funny because going through NPC, there's not that many women that are doing figure. There's not that many women that are doing women's physique, and I don't know if it's because it's the look that women are going the opposite way on, or because there's not that many women dedicated shows. But I would love to see more shows kind of like Triple O, where they focus specifically on women to say, hey, this is your time, this is your showcase, do what you come to do. Because they do put a lot in men, whether it's classic, whether it's, they put so much emphasis on men, we kind of get left in the lurch a little bit sometimes.
Well, this is how I see this. If you look at it, this is how it is. The promoters will put the money behind the man more than the women, unless you're bikini or wellness. Uh,
Mhm.
Women's bodybuilding has next to few qualifiers for pros for them.
Mhm.
The men's division, you look at it, like at the Auto Classic, guys like Derek Lungford can walk away with nearly half a million dollars, while some of the ladies in the other divisions, even the men in the division, don't get as much because this is how I say it. If you know the pimping game, The men's division is the bottom bitch. It's the one that always gets the attention, gets the money, and and it's harder to do. Promoters usually just want it because they promoters about making money, especially in the
Yes.
NPC, because they make their money off the number of competitors. You have people do crossovers, and that's one thing I think that kind of changed the divisions a bit, because you have competitors crossover from. I interviewed a lady who did national. She did both figure and wellness, but she got a pro card figure. I've known ladies who've done. I mean, one lady she won 3 pro cards, 2 of them in figure, 1 in physique. That's the thing is, it's a money thing. And the thing is, they feel like the women don't get as much attention. Although if you're bikini and wellness, there's another show that's an all woman show that is the Arizona Pro, Rising Phoenix / Arizona Pro. It's changing now. The women's bodybuilding part is going to be more of an open qualification, no longer invitational, because that's the show that Andrea has done the last 5 years. And there's also another show that's going to be as all women's. It's the Vancouver Island, but they don't have figured. They do have women's bodybuilding, physique, and wellness. But
Right.
it's like I said, you got to find promoters who are willing to say, you know what, let's give the ladies a chance. Let's put the guys
Yeah.
to the side, But most of them don't want to do that because they feel like if we do that, we're not going to get sponsors that want to put money behind us.
Right.
Even if you got bikini wellness, they still want to see. You want to see the guys. You want to see the big freaky guys.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to see the big muscle bound guys, which is nothing wrong with it because they put in work. And I think a lot of the guys look awesome. But us ladies, we need some love too. We need love too. We put in a lot of hard work too.
Like Ella Crucial, you need love because
Yes.
I gotta say it may not be the '80s, but I'm down with the ladies. Like the thing is, like especially for women, the cost of it is tough because for guys, all you gotta do, and I keep saying this, it's true story. Guys gotta wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. That's about it. Y'all, other than the cost of them with their food and other stuff and gear, whatever they use, but then for y'all ladies, it's just counting in because lucky your husband's your coach. You have to worry about paying a coach.
Right.
You take care of your own nutrition and stuff like that. That's good. And then you got to think about traveling to the shows. Then if you are like some competitors that did masters, you got to pay interest fees. Then hair, makeup, tanning. Your jewelry. I mean, everything. Your suit right there. That's your cardinal or your rent for the month.
Listen. When it comes down to showtime and you got to sit and you calculating everything, you kind of start scratching your head going, do I love this sport? because you do. You have to do hair. Eyebrows, eyelashes, makeup, suit, shoes, jewelry, tanning. I mean, they're waxing. There's so many, right. There's so many things. There's so many things that women have to do just to get on stage. And it's like, okay, what am I leaving with? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I'd be like think about it. You're putting more in than you get out of it because okay, you do a show. I think it was $9,000 for Erica Gatt, and that's a good chunk of change. I mean, that's probably some people's prep for the year. But then she's going to the Olympia, and they do take care of you, give you per diem, and then I think you're changing it now where they're cutting some things out because they really want to. One thing is that they're trying to compete with the Arnold. The Arnold does not have either women's bodybuilding physique or figure, and I grew up watching his movies. I'm a fan of Arnold, and I always think this Arnold Schwarzenegger like get to the chopper, but I don't like his politics when it comes to y'all women, and they're saying that using the excuse that people don't want to see y'all. But the fact is, people go by what they like to see. Most time, by bodybuilding is a very fringe sport. Most people don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, there are some very, very talented ladies. I mean, very talented ladies. You literally can type in, pro women in Instagram and you see some amazing women that pop up. And I do think that sometimes, not really being able to showcase that kind of is a hindrance, but that's where the love of the sport comes in. Regardless of the politics, you have to have a love of the sport. In order for us to keep doing it and keep pushing, you have to have a love of the sport and you have to start connecting with like minded people. And I always believe when like minded people connect, anything can happen. So I'm very hopeful for the future of women in bodybuilding, figure, physique, and bodybuilding. I'm very hopeful for it because there are a lot of like minded people that are starting to connect together and they're talking and they're moving and they're trying to make things happen. So, I mean, I think it's going to be good in the future as long as people are coming together and they're willing to work together. So,
Mhm. And also, I think also really the competitors also need to step up because you got to think about it. This is your sport. You need to promote this. I talked with some on podcasts where we're seeing fewer show who wins bodybuilding. I interviewed a lady who also a figure competitor. She told me to cut figure from the from the sports festival in Reno this year. Um, you just have to really put it work. You have to find the people who really want to see y'all have those opportunities. But the problem is the everyday person or just somebody who even follow bodybuilding just don't like the way the divisions have changed and evolved. And, you have people out there who make comments like this, he trying to be a man, yada, 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 yada. And that's the haters. And then you have the guy that says, well, I saw your videos, your Kindle. Yeah, you get it. But you know what? Those people, it's like they're one side of it, but those people who are in the middle of the road who support y'all, who understand that you do this because you love the sport. But the thing is,
yes.
I also like this: the sport should give you something out of it. Now you got to pay a pro card every year. Just hear the whole thing. Everybody was like worried about the whole thing situation with the pro card thing. Like, what's going on? What's going on? But the thing is, it's a business thing. Like anything, this is a business.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're starting the new fit model division. Excuse me. Ha! Quit. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I feel like it's going to come in and end up being the same thing that it was supposed to replace or be evolved from. Because the fact is, it's the evolution of the athletes. They don't want crossovers, but after a while, you're going to see it because you know what?
Mm-hmm.
This sport is influential, and it really affects somebody who gets into it.
Now, I will say one thing about crossover, especially for women. The one thing that well, not one, but the main thing that I kind of do like about crossover is when you're that in between, being able to do that crossover kind of helps you find out where you're at. And like I said, I did women's physique. And a lot of my feedback that I got back from the show when I did both was, and I did it in two different federations because I wanted to see where I fit the best. I know what I like, I know what I love, but I want to see because people kept saying, Kyndle, you're an in-betweener. If you get maybe a little bit bigger, you'd be great over here. But if you stay where you are, you'll be great here. So being able to do that crossover to actually get feedback from multiple different people to say, you know what, no, I think you should stay here because you fit 8 of the 10 criteria here. But if you move over here, you're going to have to bring it up 5 or 6. So there are some benefits of doing crossovers. I think sometimes when you start awarding for both for both divisions, that's where the lines start to get a little bit blurred and some of the criteria starts to get missed because now people looking at it from the outside, they don't know what you're supposed to look like because you're being awarded on both ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But crossover has benefits, but it also has its downsides, just like everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you know what? I think the problem is also when they set those standards for our competitors, you should stick to it. And often I've heard like the judges go by what they see. Like we talked about Sharonica. Some feel that Sharonica should have won the title at the Olympia for Miss Physique because she fits more in aesthetics compared to Sarah. Sarah, I think when she became champion after she beat Shanique, she kind of changed the division. It has evolved from it. With Sid, she was, I would say, the standard of a women's figure, a figure. I don't call it women, I just call it figure. Well, there is guys who we call it men's classic. If you break it down to it, there's only ones that don't have a male parallel is fitness and wellness. There's not a lot of guys who want to be jumping around, and not a lot of guys who want to see a big butt.
Right.
But you have men's open bodybuilding, you have women's open bodybuilding. You have 212, and I think I would call physique closer to 12 than it is men's physique. Men's physique is more like bikini, and men's classic is more like figure.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Mhm.
And yeah, and it is true because you can only judge what you see, what you have on stage. You have to pick from what you have on stage. But sometimes when you have a stacked class, the best thing to do is pull back that rule book and just go straight by criteria. That's the best thing that you can do to make it fair.
That's
Just for everything.
Yeah. The thing is that, I think sometimes it's also a popularity contest. Sometimes you see competitors that are like with Jessica, she was doing like 2 or 3 shows in a year, and my personal feeling like you already got your spot. Why are you in the way of somebody else? I understand people say you want to be competitive. Yeah, I understand that. She said that on one of her on a post. But the thing is, you already got your spot. You might be the next Miss Olympia, or they might go with Missy or Lola, you know. And the thing is, like I said again, to go back to the cost, ladies have to find a way to, like circumvent and make the money. What did you do for a living, to keep, paying this lifestyle into bodybuilding?
So I did work for I worked for the state for a while, but right now I do online training. I have like 3 different businesses right now. So I do online training. I do meal prep. I also have a all natural skincare line and an online bakery.
Ooh.
Yes, I love to bake. My husband gains at least 15 pounds every prep. Uh, because when I get on prep, I bake. I can't taste any of the food, so he is now my taste tester, and I'm always coming up with something new. So I'm like, here, taste this. Here, eat this. So he gains at least 15 pounds. So whatever I lose, he gains.
I did an interview with a lady. Her name is Christina Ware, and she turned pro last year. And she told me the same thing. She likes baking. She makes her husband, her daughter eat in front of her. She aggressively bake and make them say, "Eat it!" And
Yep.
but that's the thing is that food is both a tool and a weapon for a bodybuilder. And I know it's nice to have those temptations every now and then, that smell, but then you have to stick to your diet. It's important to you, and also your training. So, what's the training like for you on a daily basis?
So on a daily basis, I'm usually up early in the morning. I try to get some fasted cardio in. In between doing my clients and orders. From there, the way that I have my split is I try to break my days down from different body parts. And I'm usually in the gym for probably maybe about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But that will consist of my training, my cardio, and my posing. Anytime I'm in the gym and I've done a workout, I go pose because that's an additional workout. That is an additional step that you take. And a lot of the times, I don't do just my figure posing. I'll do bodybuilding posing, whether it's men or women's, because that helps with my conditioning. That helps get me set in place. That helps me be able to hold my poses while I'm on stage. So I'm usually in the gym probably about 6 days a week, give or take, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, like
Mm-hmm.
just about every day, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think like you're in the gym like 24/7, but no, you have to still live, breathe, eat,
Yes.
sleep. You just go enough times to really work on those things. Like you say, working conditions is one thing. What's the workout set? It's like, you know what, this is easy, and the one says, "Damn, I gotta do this shit."
Um, One, I love shoulder days. I love a good shoulder day. Funny enough, I can't have too many shoulder days because that is the one body part on me that will grow like no one's business. But I love my shoulder days. The way that we do things, I like progressive overload. I like to lift heavy. I like heavy. I like short reps. That works for my body. I've worked out with some people and they can do 15, 20, and I'm looking at them like, boy, by the time I get to 10, I'm tired. I ain't doing no more.
Yes.
You might get 12.
You say you lucky if you get 5 out of me, and I'm done. I'm home. I say, oh, I'll get my
That's
shit
about
going.
it. But I do. I mean, I like lifting heavy because for me, it's pushing myself. It's pushing myself beyond. It's like, okay, here's my PR for this week. Let me see if I can top that next week, even if it's just going up by 5 or by 10. So I like lifting heavy. I like focusing on the tension and the resistance. Like I love focusing on the contractions and feeling the squeeze in the muscle in every movement. So a lot of my movement, and that's probably why some of my workouts take so long, because a lot of my movements are very slow and controlled. Because if I'm not feeling the burn and the tightness, I ain't doing something right. So that means I need to go back and do it again. That or it ain't heavy enough. So we need to add some more weight.
And the one you just like I said, I don't feel like doing it, but you got to do it anyway.
Maybe arms, honestly. And which is funny because I love shoulders, but arm days, I'm like, arms and triceps. I'm like, don't I get arms and back? Do I have to do it? Do I have to do a whole day with just biceps? I really don't want to.
Say, yeah, Mom, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to
Yeah,
work my arms. But the thing is, this is part of the process. You have to work on your strengths and also work on your weaknesses because you improve on
yes,
you improve on your strengths. It's already you're doing pretty good, and you improve on your weaknesses. You have to be a complete athlete, and with figure, most definitely the back and the shoulder is the most important part of it because I know ladies telling me how you have that Dorito look to you upside the Dorito. You have the brown round shoulders. Some of y'all ladies, I think one lady I follow, Vera. My God, her back is beautiful. I
you know, I'm gonna. It's some ladies out there. I mean, backs are phenomenal,
you know,
absolutely phenomenal, and they're just standing, and you're like, that's a whole roadmap you got back there. Like backs are phenomenal.
yeah, I know. One lady at the show, Teresa Vosek, she won it last year. Her back is off from killer. So sometimes I say, you know what? Do y'all need a massage therapist? I studied when I was in school. But that means everybody has those things, those great aesthetics, and I will say, y'all ladies, especially in figure, y'all have amazing bodies. That's why I'm expanding my division. I'm mostly focused on women's bodybuilding because I've been a fan of a long time. Physique, I wasn't too much a fan of it, but I've really gained a lot of respect for the division the last few years, and with y'all ladies too. I've interviewed a few figure ladies in the past few years since I started this content. I really get to know more about each division. I even had a few, girls, wellness competitors, but in the amateur league. I had a couple ladies that do pro, but I like to get my hands on some more if I can ever to. And I've done some interviews with ladies bikini. But like I said, I respect their passion because this is what you have to do for passion. There's not a lot of money to it. It's not lucrative. It's not like if you were playing in the even WNBA still makes a good chunk of change every now and then.
Right,
But
right,
bodybuilding, because of its extreme, about it, so extreme, environment about it, community it is, because it's not as seen as a mainstream sport. It's funny back then you used to catch on television, but you now can catch cornhole and pillow fights, and it's sad that y'all competitors don't get that much respect recognition, even though I've talked to ladies from Australia and Great Britain and South Africa and the Czech Republic, South America and Canada. It's growing bit by bit, but still most average people wouldn't know who's Andrea Shaw, or Sid Gillen, or Whitney
right.
Jones, or any or other than maybe a guys like Chris Seabum or maybe Samson Dewar because they're the guys, but still even some of them are not recognized.
Right. And a lot of people know them because of influencers, and there's not too many influencers that are focusing on the women. They do see the guys because they want to mimic what the guys are doing. But if you do have an influencer there that's looking at the women, they're looking at bikini. They're looking at wellness because thighs and butts are all of the rage. So they're gonna gear towards them versus some of the more muscular women categories. So I mean, it really sucks because I mean there's some beautiful women with amazing physiques, and not even just their physiques, their stage presence alone is captivating. And a lot of these women have gymnastics, tumbling, track. Like they have so many different, activities that they've done in their background that you don't even know about. You just say, oh, she's muscular. We don't want to look like that. You have no idea.
One woman I'm a fan of is Ashley Jones. I love this picture just from the Olympia back in 2022. My
Oh,
gosh, she's so beautiful. I mean, that smile, that physique. I mean, it
I
just
love her.
it kind of like I said, it's the other guy. It kind of excites me. It's I'm like a dog chasing cars. I know what to do if I get one. So and
She is the sweetest. She is the sweetest. I had a chance to talk with her. I think it was Battle of Texas. I think I talked with her Battle of Texas and for Nationals. And she is just the sweetest, I mean, the sweetest person in the world. Like she spoke she spoke good into me those days, and even to this day, all of the women, um, her, Rhea Gale, Jessica, they spoke so much into me. Even to this day, before I step on stage, I hear them in my head before I get on that stage.
I think they're all amazing ladies. Some
Yes.
ladies I might have some issues with, but that's me. But you know what? They're all amazing women who do this sport. To the sacrifice you have to make, the time, the
Mhm.
money, the physical, the financial, the emotional, it's an investment. And anybody does this, like I said again, it's not like it's not easy. Like the great Ronnie Coleman says, everybody want to be a bodybuilder, no one want to lift this heavy ass weight. And as I said again, I wish there was more opportunities for y'all. Like sponsorship should help. Because are you sponsored?
No.
So that's one thing. Sponsorships help because I tell guys out there, I know you guys, you're a fan of these ladies. And you want to support them. But this is what you don't do. You don't like say, hey, Killer, you're a tall drink of water. You're a tall drink of chocolate milk. So if I do this for you, no, stop that, you sick freak. This is what you
Now,
do.
now I will say I am horrible on social media. I am absolutely horrible on social media. 9 times out of 10, if you see a post, my husband posted it. And I just go back and I go click accept on collaboration. I am horrible on social media. But I mean, yeah, being sponsored would be amazing. It would help tremendously. But like I said, if that's what's going to be for me, it's going to come in the time that it's supposed to come.
Hmm. One thing I would say like this, I would say, if I was somebody who had a company who's looking to sponsor an athlete, I would say, Mrs. Rich, we are very interested about you. You have a very interesting story and what you do and your commitment, and you're your husband's work in bodybuilding. So we have a company, madam. And if you are interested in being part of our company as an ambassador, we'd like to set you up. If you like the product that we have that works in your process, we
Right.
appreciate it. Also, I hear you also are planning other businesses. So maybe we can help your business grow and
Right.
develop. So if you feel this is something that talk a little with your husband, Sean, and if he's interested in and want to take a part of it, we are happy to have you on part of our company. So let us know when. Just inform us whenever you're ready.
Right. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, it's there. It's just that, like I said, again, social media is the one thing. Because there's a lot of it. I have to be honest because I do content and this is how I get my connections and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But as I said earlier, I said to quote my master Raza Gula Demon said, "You must be aware of surroundings at all time. Never give up your feeling for a killing blow."
Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing about sponsorships. I think you have to be very careful when you do sponsorships because for me, my stomach is very sensitive. I can't use the all everyone's protein. I can't use everyone's protein powder. I can't use, you know, everyone's, enzymes and probiotics. Like I can't use some of that stuff. So I'm very particular on what I actually put into my body, because once you start to get down so lean, you start noticing when things work for you and when things don't. And it's the smallest things. I took a vitamin C from a company that I didn't usually use, and I was like, "Oh, that does not work. Can't use that. Can't use that. So that's $20 down the drain. Can't use that one. Let's go back over here."
Yeah, I think I know quite a few ladies who had to deal with some kind of you know immune deficiency issue because bodybuilding it's very serious and you have to be aware of that. You have to
Yes.
be aware of things that works in your process, and this is a process. And I've heard say, well, trust the process, but don't have to trust it. Understand it first. Understand what you get involved in. Understand all that works in this process. Then,
Yes.
when you understand it, then you can trust and invest in it. Because you know what? You never know. Not everybody's meant to be a bodybuilder. Some
Exactly.
just enjoy the fitness benefits of just working out and training, and some do enjoy building muscle. Not everybody
Yes.
wants to be a competitor. Nobody want to be at that stage. And it's
Right.
tough. Like this, is the thing is, we go to shows, we see y'all competitors up there. We see y'all in the suits, and you're all glistening and shining, y'all ripped and shredded, everything. But we don't understand what took you get there: the tired days, the dehydration, the starvation, being not hungry, hungry, and
Yes.
just the work and the discipline and the consistency. Most people outside the game won't be able to do that, but for y'all special few. That's why I said y'all special few, because anybody else would be created to do this. So I gotta tell you special. It's a lot. And you do it because you love it. And again,
Yes.
I wish there was more support, money wise, financially wise. And it's tough also because sometimes friends and family members don't understand, because you're doing something that I talked to a young lady, she's Vietnamese. Her family would try to feed her because she was so thin, but she was getting ready for
For
it was a
sure.
peak week, getting ready for a show. Family members sometimes, like your family, I know they support you because you got rich in your corner. It's tough to see someone doing something that maybe not familiar for them.
Yeah, it was very tough. And the crazy part about it is having to explain to some of my family I have to eat every 2.5 hours. They automatically assume that you don't eat. No, no, no. I eat all day long. I eat all day long. So knowing I have to eat every 2.5 hours, but I have to eat certain food every 2.5 hours. So trying to explain that to certain family members, and then they go, "Oh, well, you can just have this. This won't hurt you." Well, I mean, okay, let's be honest. Maybe that one cookie, won't hurt me calorie wise, but it can mess me up here, which now messes everything else up. Because now I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I ate that cookie. What is it doing to my body? I got to do an extra 45 minutes of cardio just because I ate one cookie. So now I'm stressing. And now my body just blew all the way up. And I've had shows where I started stressing out of nowhere. And that package that I had that morning or the day before is not the same package that I got on stage with. So having to explain that to certain people, especially family. My, funny enough, my mom came out to see me in Triple O. My mom literally she tries to fly in wherever I am to be at a show. Um, and I hear my mom on stage, and I can see her in the crowd, but I'm looking at the promoters, and I'm hearing my mom, and I see them turn and look. It took everything in me not to go, I'm sorry, y'all. That's my mom.
That's
I'm
the
sorry,
thing.
that's my mom.
That's the thing. That's a baby. That's
Yeah.
good because you know what? Instead of get most people, family members, like I interview a lady who said her mom didn't want to talk about it. Her dad, he's like, I ain't have no, I had a girl, not a boy. I already got another boy. But when you have those people like your husband, your mother who stand by you, because like I said again, going to shows is a expense just for them too. I
Yeah.
watch the pay per view. I would love to go show this year, but I got a car that it's been giving me problems. I'm just, and it's an opportunity to see somebody you love doing something they love.
Yes.
I mean, it's like I said again, it's a lot. But you know what? You enjoy what you're doing, and it's good that you have your mother, your husband, everybody else in your corner. I talk to ladies that sometimes friendships change because they're changing their lifestyle. They're doing
Yes.
something that is not typical for them. But as long as you love doing it, it should be no problem with anybody else. Just it's you in your life.
Absolutely. And I will say with this sport, you will weed out those who are for you and those who are against you. And sometimes it's the ones that you're like, no, that would never happen, are the first people to go. They are the first people to go. Because even though you're saying, hey, I can't go out and do this, hey, I can't go out and do that, or hey, if we go out, I gotta have my bag with me with all 8 of my meals in it. Like, I gotta have this with me. And sometimes they don't understand it. So you do have to start separating yourself from certain people. And that's okay. That's okay, because it's just like with anything in life. If you were to start your own business and you have someone speaking ill against you and wishing bad, you're going to separate yourself from them. It's the same thing with this sport. This is something that you love. This is something that you want to do. If they're not in your corner, step away. And that's okay. And sometimes it's family you have to do that with.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes it's friends.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, you got to find people to stand by you. If you don't, like my man Bertie Mac said, like this, boy, if people don't like who you are, fuck them. That's all you can do. Just you gotta live for you and nobody else again. We got here before we head out with my man here. Shout out to my man KL, the Wanderer coming through. Says, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, appreciate you coming through. And like I said, he's also a guy who does content on women in bodybuilding. Just like I said, so handful of us, like guys like the Female Bodybuilder channel. There's myself. There's David, Female Body Forum. You see Sheena Olick got her own podcast. What Sharonica and Nicole are doing. We're giving y'all ladies the voice shared that everybody needs to hear. Yes, they're going to talk to the guys. Yeah, you want to hear the Chris Bumstead. You want to hear Derek Lumford. You want to hear Sean Coney. You want to hear this. But hey, I don't. I'm no into the behind. I respect them, but I'm not into guys behind hammocks like that. That's not. Hey, like I said, my name's not Elton John. I prefer to talk about your age because I've been a fan of this sport, especially for you for a long time, and I respect y'all. Well, I said again, my crime before is a must perspo, but doing this content and doing interviews and and gaining friendships doing this path, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I do. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, some of the ladies that I've been able to meet and some of the extended family that I've gotten from just being in this sport and just being in the gym has been amazing. I mean, honestly, you lose one, you turn around and gain two more, and they understand what's happening. These are women that you can pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I'm not having a good day. I'm 6 weeks out. And they're like, okay, come on, let's go. We got cardio. Oh, we got shoulders. Oh, we got arms. Okay, cool. We got arms and chest today. Come on. We're going to push through. So I mean, the connections that you can make just sheer friendship alone is amazing, is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, between people giving you tips with posing, I like to think that I'm an open book. If you've been on stage before and you have more experience than I do, I'm going to listen to what you're saying because there's something that you learned that I may not have to get my head knocked in about. I can learn from you. Why not? I don't listen. I don't like getting knocked in the head. So so I'm gonna learn. If you got something to teach me, I'm gonna soak it in. Yeah, you have to take certain stuff with a grain of salt, But you have to understand when someone is being genuine and they truly want to help you, they're going to give you all of the right things that they feel is going to be the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You have to be truly willing and wanting to listen. And
yes,
also, again, be aware of those people who might want to sabotage you. Sometimes
yes,
you gotta watch out for smiling faces.
yes,
So, folks, we do appreciate the lovely Mrs. Rich for taking the time out here and talking with us and sharing her story. We wish her best of luck wherever show she's doing. I mean, impressive young lady, impressive young body. You know. I would say I think she has a good future in this sport. I mean, some ladies may not always get to Olympia, but you never know. It's like I said, this is still an open year. A lot of shows for figure,
yep.
quite a few in Texas. Opportunities there. It's about the right time, the right place, and all that. And before we let you go, ma'am, I want to say this next question: what would you want out of bodybuilding for yourself as a whole?
Honestly, I would love to be able to hit the Olympia stage. And I joke with this about my with my PT. I don't care if I come dead last. That ain't the point. I made it. Um, but honestly, I'm getting what I want out of it right now. The knowledge, the connections, the growth, um, pushing my body to different limits to see where I can go and how I can change my physique. Like I'm getting all of those things from it. Everything else is an added bonus. Everything else is an added bonus. I mean, honestly, just even being in this sport has helped my husband and I communicate better. I mean, who can ask for more? I mean, everything else at this point is just an added bonus. So I have such love for it and what it's already given me. Anything else that comes is a blessing.
Yeah. I also always count your blessings when you got them. I mean,
Yes.
sometimes God works in mysterious ways. That's
Oh
a
yeah.
good thing about it. So folks, like I said again, if you want to follow Kyndle, social media links are in the description. Reach out with genuine interest. If you're someone who wants to sponsor, she's a nice young lady. I think she has a good future. But don't be that weird guy. Have some respect for her and respect for all these ladies. All the competitors. Hey, it's a tough sport. Not a lot of people are willing to make those sacrifices. I don't know because, like I said, at one point in my life, I was almost 500 pounds, but still, I still have fat man desires. Like I mean, I had like before I had an interview, I had like a hoagie sandwich, and was it, and a thing of chips. But I do try to eat smarter now. I mean, I bake and fry. I don't fry too much. I
Right.
bake every now and then, and I steam some stuff. But sometimes there's some things that it be calling me, man. So,
That's okay.
oh,
I just had some nachos. That's okay. It's okay.
thank you. Yeah, I feel validated. So, and before I let you go, he got to say something. He says, "Kendra, I want to tell you something. You are beautiful." I'm sorry about him. I still got. I think I need to go to therapy about him. I don't know, but anyway, madam, do you have anybody want to get a shout out before you let go?
My husband, my family. I love you guys truly. You guys are everything to me. You supported me, and I do this for y'all. So we'll see what happens by the end of the year. We'll see. You never know.
Well, shout out to your mom, because I miss my mom. My mom was again was my woman. I miss her. She was the one that really inspired me to get this because I'll take care of her. But good that she came and support you. Good
Yeah.
that you're Sean there, and good to everybody else who are there in your corner. People like yourself need that because this sport,
Yeah.
I said again, it can take a lot out of you. And if you're not willing to make those sacrifices, understand those factors as to be a bodybuilder, then I think it's not the sport for you. You can always go home and do something else like bake.
Hey.
Yeah. So, folks, we like to thank again the lovely Mrs. Kendall Rich. Shout out to my man, Gucci 23 coming through, my brother, KL, the Wonder coming through. Anybody who watched this video, subscribe, comment, follow us on social media, support the women in the sport of bodybuilding, no matter if it's, physique, figure, women's bodybuilding, bikini, the TNA divisions, wellness, or even, excuse me, fit model. Ha! Pwah! You know, but support the athletes. I have issue with the division. That's me, but support the athletes in general. So show interest and really show respect. So, folks. So, I'd like to thank Kyndle and wish you best of luck.
Thank you, guys.
All righty. Anyway, it's your mail away George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good evening, good night, good luck, and it's Friday.